Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. So thank you very much for joining us in the Sunday program. And today, His Grace Savyasachi Prabhu is here with us. We are very fortunate to have him here. And he did his MBBS from Madurai Medical College, and then while studying he was coming in ISKCON temples and he was coming in the teachings with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita by Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. And the temple president there was from ISRO, so he was a little inspired by him also. And then in 1999 he completely dedicated his life for curing the spiritual disease before he was curing the material disease of everyone related to his body. Now he is curing the disease which is related to the soul. And after that, in many years, he is guiding hundreds of youths all around the country, and many Grihastha devotees also, in hundreds, are taking guidance from him. And under him, many projects are coming in various states of the country, and especially the major thing which is involved in is re-establishing Gurukulas in India. So under him, there are 3 Gurukula projects which are coming up. So right now he is here. So please give your ear for 1 hour to him nicely and hear very attentively. So he will what he has learned from so many years, we will learn from him in 1 hour a lot of things. So please, I request everyone to switch off your mobile phone, which is very lovable for us. So 1 hour, we can mute it or silent it so that we can hear it. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurvilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swaparamtikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shritaf Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sahaganarunathan Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bharan Sarvana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today I have been asked to speak on the topic, if God is one, then why there are so many religions? So this is practically what we see now. So many religions, so many opinions. Somebody says this, somebody says that. Everybody thinks what he says is right, everything else is wrong. Mine is the only way. Somebody says God is like this. Somebody says God is a person. No, God cannot be a person. Like that, there are so many views contradicting each other, and there are so many fights based on that, correct? Religious fights going on in the world, always, almost always. So this is troublesome. God should be one if at all there is God, because God means no, solid, yes, please. Okay. So, one God, Creator, the Supreme. Okay, but then why so many different opinions? And how to know who is correct? Is there any intelligent way to know? If at all one is interested to know who is God and what is the way to know Him, is there an intelligent way? We see it whether you take Hinduism and Shiva, Vishnu, Ganesh, and many times there is rivalry. Similarly in Islam, Shia, Sunni, and then the Christian, the Protestant, and others. So everywhere we find this. So this is quite confusing. So this is the topic today to discuss how to understand this. So, to discuss this, I am reading from one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a Vedic text, which is written by Vyasadeva. The Vedic texts are even written by Vyasadeva. And this Srimad Bhagavatam was the last contribution of Vyasadeva. And it is considered the most important contribution of Vyasadeva. So we are reading from this Srimad Bhagavatam, where a similar question was asked by Uddhava to Krishna. Have you heard of the name of Uddhava? Some of you have, some of you have not. So Uddhava was in Dwarka, one of the ministers of Krishna, and he was ruling Dwarka, and a very great devotee of Krishna. So in Bhagavatam there is recorded a conversation between Lord Krishna and Uddhava. Like there is Bhagavad Gita, which is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. So similarly, this section of Srimad Bhagavatam is also called as Uddhava Gita. This is a conversation between Uddhava and Lord Krishna. And in this conversation, there is recorded various philosophical explanations. Uddhava asks and Krishna gives answers. So one of the questions Uddhava asked was, Uddhava said, "My dear Krishna, the learned sages who explain Vedic literature recommend various processes for perfecting one's life. Considering these varieties of viewpoint, my Lord, please tell me whether all these processes are equally important or whether one of them is supreme." So he asked a similar question what we have under discussion today, that so many viewpoints are there. So all these viewpoints, are they all correct? They all lead to the same thing? Because this is also one of the opinions. Yato mat tato pad. Yeah, there are many opinions, many gods. You follow what you like and you will reach the same goal. Have you heard of this thing? This is also one of the prominent ones. So is this so? Or is it that among so many viewpoints, one is supreme, one is the correct one? So this is the question asked by Uddhava. Now Lord Krishna, in answer to this, he says, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. According to the scriptures, Krishna is not an ordinary human being. He is Bhagavan. He is the supreme person, God. The supreme personality of Godhead said, so Uddhava is asking God himself, if God is one, why there are so many religions? Correct? So then Lord Krishna answers, by the influence of time, the transcendental sound of Vedic knowledge was lost at the time of annihilation. Therefore, when the subsequent creation took place, I spoke the Vedic knowledge to Brahma, because I myself am the religious principles enunciated in the Vedas. The meaning is that Hare Krishna, so Lord is one and his message is one. That message is called Veda. Veda means knowledge, the absolute knowledge. Now that absolute knowledge, Krishna says, was lost at the time of annihilation. So from the Vedas we understand that time is cyclic. There is repeated creation of this material existence and there is annihilation. Okay? Bhutva bhutva praliyate. In Bhagavad Gita also Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, it's created again and again and again. And actually, even from the modern Carl's Sagan, he has written elaborately that how modern science also verifies, sees that time is actually cyclic. It's not linear. Time is cyclic. We see the seasons coming in cycle. So time is cyclic in a long span also. And that is always has been the version of the Vedas. So there is creation, there is annihilation. So at the time of annihilation, this knowledge was lost. So in the subsequent creation, I spoke this Vedic knowledge. So this Vedic knowledge is spoken by Lord, the Supreme Person himself. It is not a man-made knowledge. It is knowledge given by Supreme God himself. Because he says, why I do this Vedic knowledge? Because I myself am the religious principle. What is right, what is right, what is wrong is set by the Supreme Lord. His opinion is the opinion. Our opinion is right if it is in alignment with his opinion, because he is the creator, he is the supreme. Okay, so Indian law is there. So citizens, if their opinion is in alignment with the law, then it is correct. If not, then it is criminal. Okay, like then Lord Krishna says further. So, and another thing to be noted, Lord Krishna says, I spoke the Vedic knowledge to Brahma. So the first living entity when creation happens is called Brahma. And to the first living entity, Lord Krishna gives this knowledge about him and about everything else. Why creation? What is to be done? What is the purpose? Everything. That is all recorded, that is all in the form of Vedas, it is given. So, it is given to Brahma, and then Krishna says further, Lord Brahma spoke this Vedic knowledge to his eldest son, Manu, and the 7 great sages, headed by Muni, then accepted the same knowledge from Manu. So, there is a further detailed description how, when Brahma was born, so he was alone and not knowing the purpose of his existence. And then Lord revealed to him what he has to do, what he's supposed to do, and what is his purpose. And then he did sub-creation. All the other living entities, the bodies were given to him. Soul, we are all soul, eternal souls. Soul is never created, it never dies. But the bodies we get always are created and always annihilated. So the bodies are given to different living entities by Brahma subsequently. Okay? And one of his son was Manu, whose descendants are called Manushya, Manav Jati. Because we are descendants of Manu, therefore we are called Manushya, Manav. Okay? And like that, then there are Saptarishi, the prominent male rishis, Prajapatis. So this is at the time of creation how they are created and further creations happen, further living entities, different living entities, not just human beings, because there are 84 varieties of creatures, living entities. All are created in succession from Brahma. Then Lord Krishna says further, from the forefathers, headed by Dhruv Muni and other sons of Brahma, appeared many children and descendants who assumed different forms as demigods, demons, human beings, Guhyakas, Siddhas, Gandharvas, Vidyadhara, Charana, Kindeva, Kinnara, Naga, Kimpurusha, and so on. So this is description of some of the varieties of living entities. Like there is one Kimpurusha. Kimpurusha means when you see them, you will be questioning, is he a Purusha? Kim. Kim in Sanskrit means is. Is it so? Kimpurusha. Is it a Purusha? So something what we today call as ape. They look like human beings. So, but it puts under question, are they human beings or something else? Similarly, there are Kinnaras. Are they Naras? Kindevas. Are they Devatas? So they are similar to Devatas, but not exactly Devatas. Like that. So, some of the varieties are given here. All of the many universal species. These species are not biological species, by the way. But for the sake of English language, this word is used as species. They are called yoni in Sanskrit. They are based on different conscious level, not biological species. All of the many universal species, along with their respective leaders, appear with different natures and desires, generated from the 3 modes of material nature. This is an important point to note. We are born with different combination of modes of material nature. What are these modes of material nature? Any substance is formed of a substance, something, and that follows certain laws. Right? So this material world is made up of material elements, and these material elements follow gross laws and subtle laws. Some of the laws, to some extent, we know today through modern science, like magnetism, gravitation. But then there are also many subtle laws which decide or which are responsible for creation and different bodies and all that. So these are subtle modes of material nature, the three gunas with different combination result in different varieties of material bodies. Sattva-guna, Rajaguna and Tamasaguna. Okay. So at the time of annihilation, previous annihilation, different living entities were in different bodies due to different desires and different activities, and those bodies were made or governed by different set of Sattva, Rajaguna, Tamaguna combination. Now, at the time of next creation, they are given the bodies accordingly from where they ended, so that they can continue their journey from where they left. So, therefore, at the time of creation, it is not as we hear from Mr. Darwin that from monkeys this body evolved. Rather, souls are already there. They are given different bodies at the same time. All living entities are given different bodies. Not that one body evolves from another, but all bodies are created according to, they are given different bodies according to their conscious level, their combination of the modes. Okay? So then along with that body comes the material mind. There are two types of bodies, gross body and then there is a subtle body. And then inside these two bodies is the soul. So we get mind, intelligence, and our ego, our identity, what we think, as our subtle body, and then there is this gross body. So in the mind there are desires. So always mind is filled with desires. So when these living entities are created, they are created with desires based on what desires they had at that time, annihilation. So every living entity are born with different natures and desires generated from the three modes of material nature. Therefore, because of the different characteristics of the living entities within the universe, there are a great many Vedic rituals, mantras, and rewards. Next, Krishna says, thus, due to the great variety of desires and natures among human beings, there are many different theistic philosophies of life. So this is the answer to the question. If God is one, why there are different religions? Why there are different religions? Because though God is one, His message is one. Still, we, because of different desires, varieties of desires, we interpret or understand them differently. And therefore, from one teaching, from one message, evolves hundreds and thousands of varieties of viewpoints, philosophies of life, religions. Okay? This is the answer given by Lord Krishna himself. Thus, due to the great variety of desires and natures among human beings, there are many different theistic philosophies of life which are handed down through tradition, custom, and succession. So, like a tree is one root, and then there are branches, there are sub-branches, there are sub-branches. Like that, there is one knowledge, one Veda, and then according to the desires and Swabhava nature, they understand differently. And then they are transferred to customs and traditions, and in that also further there will be some diversification. So like that, as a tree has one stem, and as you go up you have varieties of branches. Similarly, as we go in time, so there is a this is what happens, that varieties of different opinions come on. Then further Lord Krishna says, O best among men, the intelligence of human beings is bewildered by my illusory potency. And thus, according to their own activities and whims, they speak in innumerable ways about what is actually good for people. Okay, so they are bewildered by the illusory energy of Krishna. So this material world is governed by one of the energies of Krishna, which is called Maya Shakti. Maya, the name, literal meaning of the word Maya is Ma-ayam, which is not. So, under the influence of this material nature, those who are governed by this material nature, they are illusioned to take as fact that which is not a fact. Maya. That is illusion. Like there is a rope and you think this is a snake. So you mistake a rope for a snake. So like that, under the influence of Maya, we don't perceive things as it is. Rather, we derive a different meaning, different understanding of everything. This is the conclusion of our question. So, why there are different religions? If there is one God, because we have different desires, and according to desires, we understand differently. Same Guru, same teaching, different disciples, different meanings they derive. It is not that if many people go to same Guru, they will learn the same thing. It should be logically correct, but it doesn't. Because on the receiver end, how much is the receiver pure? Based on that, it will be decided whether he is able to understand the message as it is or not. Okay? So, this is the thing. So, for that, there is one small story. How different people from the same Guru, here in this case from same God, will learn differently. It is not so simple that yes, Guru, and I learned it from the Guru, and yes, that should be correct. That is not. No, but then there should not be many opinions. Many opinions means something is wrong. Somebody or all of them are wrong. So, once there was a Muslim mullah who used to teach Quran every day. He used to conduct classes, explain Quran. So, to listen to him, an old lady used to come regularly. Every day she will come. And she will sit in a corner. And when this Mullaji will start explaining about Quran, she will start crying. Tears flowing from her eyes. So this speaker on Quran, he used to notice that she comes regularly. And every day whenever I speak on Quran, she cries. So after many days, once this Mullaji, he went and approached that old lady. That I see that you come every day and you always cry. What is so impressive in my speech that you are so much moved that you cry? Right? So Mullaji inquired. So this lady already said that I had a she-goat. That she-goat had a beard like yours. When that she-goat will graze, her beard will move exactly as your beard moves when you speak. Therefore, I come every day to see you because that reminds me of my she-goat. And that goat was very affectionate. So therefore I come, and when I see that, I am moved to tears. So the point here is, among the audience, there will be some people who are coming for some purpose, And what they are understanding, that is something else. So, the point to be understood here is, it is not so simple to transmit the message as it is. There is a very great science of how to transmit the message as it is. There is always a chance that this message will not be transmitted as it is, and therefore there will be so many different opinions. Okay? Then the question comes, so then is there a way that we can ensure that we get the message as it is? Correct? And there should be some way of getting the message as it is, otherwise, how this knowledge will ever be transferred? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, how this knowledge is transferred? He says, Evam parampara praptam imam raja rishayo vidhu sakale neham akayo nashtaparantapa. This knowledge, as I speak to you, has been initially given by me to Sun God Vivaswan. Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Amapyayam. I gave it to Vivaswan, then he gave it to Manu, Ikshavaku. And the same knowledge I am giving to you. This knowledge always is coming down in parampara. But with time, this parampara was lost. What is this? Parampara was lost. The meaning is different interpretations. Not as it is message. That is called parampara is lost. If the message is not transmitted as it is, that is called parampara is lost. So, therefore, I am telling this message to you again. So, we see here that if the listener is having desires to enjoy this world, this prohibits, this inhibits his faculty to receive the message as it is. If a person has a pure desire to serve the Master, the Supreme, if there is a Supreme and we are subordinate, then the natural relationship should be that subordinate should render service to the Supreme. This is always the case. When there is a Supreme, there is a great person, there is a small person, then the relationship is small serves the Supreme. Great. So, if we analyze ourselves, we can easily understand that we are very tiny, we are very insignificant. We are controlled. We don't take birth by our desires. We don't choose our parents. We don't choose our intelligence, our body, digestive system. We don't know how digestion happens. We don't do it, it happens. And we may, by biology and different things, we may study it, but still we don't have any control on that. Okay? We don't have any control on our aging. We don't have control ultimately on death. We cannot stop death. We have no control on this universal phenomena happening, the planets moving, the stars, the sun, the moon, and we have no idea of how everything has come in place. We are in ignorance. We are controlled. We are in ignorance. So all these things should naturally make us humble. Make us humble. So, what are the requisites that we understand the message as it is? First, we should be humble. And this is unity. Unity means we understand that we are dependent on controller. There is some controller. Everything is controlled, everything is created. There must be some creator, some maintainer. And after annihilation, everything should rest in someone. So, all these activities show that there should be a conscious being, because by very simple logic, we can understand that the matter doesn't have these properties to organize itself in a purposeful way. Matter in itself does not have the property to organize itself in a purposeful way. So when we see matter being organized in a purposeful way, that is creation, then it is most reasonable to think that there should be some non-material, some conscient, sentient being with a purpose who organizes this matter. Like this building. With a purpose, a human being designed it. This bricks, this cement, this iron in itself does not have the property to organize itself in a way that it can serve this purpose of a building. So, yato va imani bhutani jayante ye jatani jivanti. This is Shruti mantra. From that Supreme, who is that Supreme? From whom everything originates. So when we say God, there is a definition of God. This is definition. God means one from whom everything originates, who gives rise to everything. So when somebody creates, that shows that he should have a purpose in that creation. So and then one maintains. All these things they refer to a personality. Non-material and a person, because these are personality traits: to think, to have a purpose, to have a desire. These show personality, right? And personality always is non-material. Material things, they don't have personality, the desiring, the willpower. They don't have that. So somebody is speaking in the back. Is there something? Somebody needs something? Please, if you have something, you can go out and use that whatever word is there. It is disturbing the class. So, by very simple logic, we can understand that it is most reasonable to understand that, to accept that behind this whole creation there should be some sentient being, some sentient person. So, that sentient person who created everything, and we are subservient to him, we are controlled by him. That is practically what we are seeing. So, therefore, our natural relationship with him should be that we are subservient to him. This is humility. We are subservient to him. This is humility. This is one of the requisites to understand the message as it is. If we are not having that, then either we will altogether reject, or there is no God, I don't think I am God, or there is no God, everything else. Or even if we accept there is God, but they will twist the message unknowingly, knowingly or unknowingly. They will twist the message. Okay? So this is called sincerity. So ultimately, to get the message as it is, we need to be sincere. It's not difficult, it is easy to get the message as it is. To get the message of God as it is. That requisite is to be sincere, that's all. And what is that sincerity? That sincerity means, first thing, to be humble. To be humble means to understand that we are dependent, we are small, we are tiny, we are insignificant. And second, to have this common sense that all these things cannot just come by itself. That is not reasonable. That is not even reasonable. And then, if at all we have to know why everything exists, the only way is to know from the person who has created all these things. That is the most direct way to understand things as it is. By our own speculation, we can know to some extent, but there is all possibility of knowing something right, something wrong, and not knowing everything perfectly. Because we are limited. Our sense perception, our thinking power, everything is limited. Therefore, to get the perfect knowledge, that is not the process. So this is called sincerity, that if at all there is a way to know the truth, to know the God and His message as it is, it has to come down from the God Himself. And I have to be sincere enough. My mentality should be to receive this message so that I can act as desired by Him. This should be the purpose of my hearing the message. Not that I will understand, I will know, and then I will manipulate or I will replace Him and go there myself. With that mentality, if we are hearing, then we will not hear. We will twist. And this is what happens. Therefore, there are so many different ideas. Because same thing, same Bible, same Quran, same Bhagavad Gita, I read it black, you read it white. Correct? Why? Because of these different varieties of desire. So, purify desire. Yes, desire will be there. Because living entity means desires. But that desire is pure if it is with this understanding that we are insignificant, and because the Supreme is supreme, therefore the desire is that I will follow His order. I am subservient, I will follow His order. That is pure desire. And I will do my own things, that is whimsical. I will do my own thing. I know better. This is whimsical. No, I will act as ordained by Him. This is sincerity. So if we have this sincere desire, then we will be able to know as it is. This is the principle of parampara. How we get the things as it is. So now, from the time of creation, there always have been people, because of these polluted desires. Most of us are here because of these polluted desires only in this material world. So, because of this polluted desire, we derive different meanings, and therefore in Shastra also there are different injunctions. These different injunctions don't mean that God is talking differently to different people at different times. No. This is because people are not understanding the same message as it is, so they need to be connected in some different ways. So these are manifestations of their insincerity, these varieties. Okay? Then Krishna says, Bhaktya Mamavijana. This Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rasya viyadavuttam. So this parampara system is lost, and I am telling it to you because you are my devotee. So here lies the key. If we are a devotee, if we are devoted to the Supreme Person, then we can understand Him as it is. And devoted means that what I explained to you. We are servant, we have this understanding, we are servant, and we submit, we surrender, and we are ready to follow the instructions as it is. That is called surrender. So, so from the time of creation, different people have therefore understood things differently, but there is also a parampara of the acharyas, of the people who have followed as it is. And in that parampara, therefore, flows the right teaching, the correct message as it is. And this correct message will have certain characteristics by which you can understand which is the right message out of all different messages. Okay, this message will be about how to love God, how to serve God. Service, loving and serving is the same thing. In this material world presently, what we think of love, we think of something which is enjoyable by us. But actually, the meaning of love means to act in a way that is pleasing to the master. That is the meaning of love. Love is always selfless. Whenever there is selfishness, then there is no love, there is lust. So we in this world, we are confusing lust for love. Lust means for my sense enjoyment, whereas love means doing things for the happiness, for the pleasure of the master. So this message as it is transferred when there is love. Bhakti means to love God. When there is only one desire, to love God, that is called bhakti. So therefore, Krishna says the most essential message of Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharmana Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Praja. You surrender unto me. That is the beginning of loving Krishna. Surrendering to Krishna means, I will do as you say. That is the beginning of loving Krishna. That means our only aim is to please you. Correct? So, when we find a religion a message which encourages us to love God purely without any selfishness, then we can say this is the true message. And if in any so-called religion there is a idea of what we get from God for our enjoyment, that means that is contaminated. There is not pure love, it is contaminated. Or it can be outrightly, completely, just only ideas, what is for me, what is for me, what is for me. Nothing about what he wants, everything about what I want. Now in this light, you can examine now different religions, prominent religions today. There have been always different versions of religions. But today if you see the most prominent religions of the world today, we find Islam, Christianity and Hinduism, Buddhism, some of the prominent religions. Now, if you examine all of them, what is the objective? What is to be attained? What is the desire? So you see, in most of them, either there is a desire to attain material happiness by following that particular path. Swarga, heaven, Jannat. Correct? What is that place is famous for? For unlimited material happiness. Apsaras. Correct? Wine. In this here college campus, what you get in Swarga, you get much money. All the time. Correct? That is a concept. Swarga, heaven, or Jannah. But it boils down to ultimately sense gratification. So you can find it in Hinduism, in Islam, and Christianity. All the three, you can get this, that this is the goal. So you worship very nicely the God so that you can go there. Like once, one Padri was asked, what is the goal of your life? You are worshipping Jesus. What is the, and at the end, what do you want to achieve? So I want to attain heaven. So what you will do there? Question was asked. So for the first 100 years, I will worship that God who gave me that position, and then for the rest of the eternity I will enjoy. So ultimately the idea is to enjoy. So God is taken as a medium to help us in our enjoyment at the best. So you see, the same God, because of our desires, will be perceived in a different way. And his message also will be perceived in a different way. Then there are other religions who say ultimately everything is some shunya, nirvana, some spiritual effulgence, and you merge in that, you become one with it. These are some of them. Again, there is no idea of serving God. Okay, material world is temporary, we don't want to enjoy it. The first level is, material world is very nice, okay, this earth planet is not good, we will go to Swarga. Next level is, no, Swarga also is not good. There also there is, wrong life, but ultimately you come again. So best is to become one with God. So many religions, they propagate this, becoming one with God. Again, the idea is to be about ourselves, think about ourselves. What I get, to be one with God. Okay, like that lonely fox, the grapes were there, and she was trying to get them, and she couldn't. So they're sour. So like this, after trying hard to enjoy this world, when they are frustrated, they say this world is useless, I will become one with God. So this is another, how by desires we come to another conclusion. That yes, ultimate goal is to one with God. And God is all pervading, and we become one with God by tapasya, by vairagya, and they can do so much of tapasya, so much of vairagya, but ultimate goal is to become one with God. So again, there is a desire for one with God. not to serve him. So, in this way, you can analyze all this from religion. There is somewhere in this gradations of sense gratification. So, when you find in some religion that pure message of bhakti, serving the Supreme with the desire to please Him alone, nothing else, then we can say this is as it is. So this is what you find in Srimad Bhagavatam in Bhagavad Gita. This is the message of Bhagavad Gita. Though Bhagavad Gita is interpreted in so many ways, again, but as it is, the real message is this: Sarvadharma Sarvadharma Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Arjuna, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Nashtamoha smritir dabdha Tvad prasadat maya achyuta. My moha, my illusion is now gone. Now, karishye vachanam tava. I will do what you want me to do. Okay. So this is love. Okay. So, this way we can understand why there are different religions. Now, if you see from the historical point of view, the present different religions, they actually have a history when they started. Whereas this true religion, which is coming from God, has to be eternal. From the time of very creation, has to be always existent. It is not something which is to be created by man. It cannot be man-made. A true religion cannot be man-made. It has to be eternal. Sanatan. Sanatan means eternal. So if you see the message given in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, this is eternal. We don't find in the history that some person came and gave it. The first person, Brahma, he was given by God who is eternal. So right from the creation it was given, and it is existing even beyond creation. So it is eternal. That is one of the characteristics of a true religion, that it is eternal. It is not having a starting point and an end point. It started at a certain point in the history. No, eternal. Religion is eternal. If it is a word of God, a message of God, God is always there. His message will always be there. How is it that sometime it was not there and somebody came and then He gave it? What happened before that? Why God did not give it before that? And why only at a certain time? So, if it is a real religion, if it is a real message of God, it has to be eternal. No, it cannot have a history, beginning time. Then, a true religion should be able to explain at least all the phenomena in a coherent way. So many things we see. People with different, they are born with, somebody is born rich, somebody is born poor, somebody is good health, somebody is bad health. So many varieties we see. Why this difference? Why this difference? There should be an answer. Why somebody is suffering too much, somebody is enjoying? Why this difference? Right from the birth there is a difference. So why? So we see that in our Vedic texts, if we neutrally analyze, there is a very reasonable explanation for all these things by the theory of principle of karmic reactions. Acceptance that we are not this body, we are soul, and we don't die. Rather, we take bodies one after another based on our desires and our activities. So that is the reasoning why one is born in a different relation. Because we are continuing our life. It is not that we are born first time in this life. It is a continuation of the journey. Only the bodies are changing, like the dress changes. So we are born not with a new slate, but rather already with the old impressions. And those old impressions, our old karma, lead us to take birth in a particular family, with a particular body, with a particular type of intelligence. And therefore there is a variety. And we see that there is reincarnation. There are very good scientific studies which clearly show that there is rebirth. There are people who can remember their previous births. And so many other evidences, even scientifically, near-death experience, like that. So, how to explain that? So again, our Shastras that we are actually eternal, and again we are getting the body. There is reincarnation. That explains that. Cyclic time explains this present time is Kali Yuga. And why all these bad influences? Because it's Kali Yuga. And then God. God means He is supreme. Not that there is some rival Shaitan who is competing with Him. What type of God is this? Another person who is competing with Him. God means supreme. How can there be another person competing? Sometimes he wins, sometimes he wins. What type of supreme person is He? Then why bad things happen? If God is all good, okay, God is all good. Because you see, we see there are bad things even in this world. So this is a problem to explain. God is all powerful. Generally, all religions say God is all powerful. God is all good. Correct? And God is all merciful. So then why there is evil in this world? That means either God is not all good or He is not all powerful. Correct? But when we come to our Vedic understanding, evil is there because of our forgetfulness of God. And God is also origin of evil. Because everything has to be originated in God only. Because that's the meaning of God. But that evil is forgetfulness of God. As darkness is being away from the source of light. So that darkness also originates in light only. But it is the forgetfulness of being away from that. So when we are away from God, we get this evil. So that is one of the characteristics of the true message, that it should be able to reasonably explain everything, and there should be a way to enter into that relationship with the Supreme. So that also we find in the scriptures that there is a process of bhakti, and there is an experience of so many acharyas and people who have practiced bhakti. Krishna says in Bhava Jnana Tapasa Puta Madhbhava Magata. Many people in the past have got purified and they have attained me. So it's something which is a process which many people have gone through and they have attained, and their experiences are recorded. Experiences are recorded. Something very verifiable by all of us. It should be verifiable. It should be scientific, the process. So these are some of the characteristics of a genuine religion. And it should be the message of love, not a message of hatred, not a message of exploiting others. Correct? No cruelty. How can God permit some of His sons to be cruel to other siblings? Correct? It doesn't make any sense. Because God is Father of everyone. Why He will encourage some of His sons to exploit others for their selfishness? It doesn't make any sense. Like in some of the religions, animals they kill for their tongue pleasure. So they say, because God has given these things in our charge, so therefore we can eat them. Somebody is given in your charge, that doesn't mean that you eat them. You take care of them. That's the meaning of giving in charge. Correct? Parents are given in charge, children, to take care of them, not to eat them. Once there is a story, in China there was a hotel and a person went there with his dog, and to the watchman he said, take care of the dog. And then after some time he came out, he said, where is the dog? He said, dog was in your plate. So that's how he took care of the dog. So that is not meaning of taking care. Then some say that soul is there only in the human beings. Or before that, they used to say soul is there only in the male. So again, animals, there are symptoms of life in animals. For that matter, in plants. So it is not reasonable to say that only human beings have souls. Right? So, in this way, if we carefully analyze, we can see, but to analyze carefully, we need to be sincere. That is the crux. And I told you what is the sincerity. We have to have humbleness and a genuine desire to know God, to serve Him. Not to know God, to twist Him, or to control Him, or to become one with Him, or to become above Him. No, then we will be cheating. We cannot cheat Him. Okay? So, if we have that true mentality, if we are sincere, then in spite of all these myriads of confusion, jungle of religion, we will be able to find out the right path. If we are sincere. So in this way, you are welcome to this process of Krishna consciousness, which is based on Vedic texts, on parampara of that pure devotion, selfless service to the Supreme. This is the hallmark of this process, Krishna consciousness. Selfless service to the Supreme. With no desire, even not the desire of moksha, liberation. Only desire to please the Supreme. That is pure love. And once we love God, then naturally we love everyone. Because everyone is related to God. So this is the true religion of which spreads love for every entity, not just for human beings, but for animals, for plants, for everyone. And this is the platform of loving God which can actually unite the whole humanity. If there is one possibility of uniting everyone, this is the only possibility. You can meditate, contemplate on this point, what I am saying. We all want to unite everyone. We don't want these fights. But we are wondering, what is that way? What is that platform on which everyone can unite? Different people are trying different ways. There was a United Nations created for this purpose, that we can all unite after the World War. But wars stopped? No. Why? Because we need to have a common center point for everyone. Then only we can unite. Like in a pond, if you throw a stone, there will be ripples created. If you throw a stone another place, there will be another set of ripples created and they will collide. But if you throw the stone exactly on the same place again and again, then all those waves which are created, there will be harmonization in those waves. So similarly, we need to find a common center, a common center for everyone. And that common center can only be God, but not just God. God means to love God. Because if the center is God, religion, but what I get from Him, then again there are many desires, different desires, and we'll be all fighting on the name of God. Americans, in God we trust. God save our country. And the other person is saying, God save our country, and both are fighting. God is on our side, God is on our side. But if there is a center point of loving God, then there is a question of fight, because God is one person. To please Him, everyone can unite together. Okay? So this is the only platform on which all humanity can be brought together, and this is what is one of the purpose of Krishna consciousness movement, that to propagate this philosophy which can actually bring all humanity beyond this man-made religions. Man-made religions. We come to a religion, true definition of God. Now, just to end, there are other opinions which are not coming from God or from the Vedas. They are opinions created because of just trying to understand everything simply by our logic. That is called ascending process of knowledge. Ultimately, if we have to understand God as it is, the knowledge has to come down from Him. But if we try to understand everything from down up, just based on our logic, then we come to atheism. Atheism. There is no God, or nature is God, or shunya, everything is just zero. So Buddhism and all this naturalism outright atheism. These are different forms of atheism. So these are the result of ascending process of trying to understand everything. Okay, so this is needs a lot of elaboration. Descending process, ascending process, to understand this whole universe. Ascending process is incapable. To understand who is our mother, not by this ascending process, not by our logic, not by our observation, we can find out who is our mother and father. Mother has to tell, I am your mother. That's the only way. That is descending process. So similarly, the creator, he has to tell, I am this and this is you and this is the relation, this is what descending process. So these are some of the thoughts on why if there is one God, there are different religions. In a nutshell, there are different religions, though there is one God, because we have different material desires. If we come to a pure desire to serve God, then we will find that there will not be different religions and different understanding contradicting each other, but we will be able to unite and come to same point. Hare Krishna. Any question? Yes.
Prabhuji, it is said that soul is in animal and in plants also.
Yes.
So in Shastra it is told that not to eat meat or not
Yes.
to eat animal. So what about plants? Because we eat plant also and we are actually killing.
Yes. So, to live in this world, some amount of himsa is unavoidable. Because there is also a dictum, Jiva Jivasya Jivanam. So, it has to be a minimal killing, just necessary to maintain this body. Human beings are designed in a way, different entities are designed in different ways. So, lion body is designed in a way that suits meat eating or eating the flesh can nourish the body. So therefore it is not sinful for the lion to eat that. Ultimately, one has to depend on somebody else. That is the very nature of this world. But it has to be what is ordained for you. Okay. So for the lion that is not sinful. But the human body is made in a way that to maintain it, this vegetarian diet is sufficient. You can't just eat flesh as human beings. Okay, but you can just eat vegetarian diet and be healthy completely. One thing. Second, in the plant life, the amount of violence is minimum because most of the plants which we eat when they are already dead. The crops when they are already their duration has their life has ended, then they are harvested. They become yellow. They are harvested at that time. So it involves very minimal killing. Also, the consciousness is very least developed in plants compared to animals. So the pain inflicted is minimum when we eat plants compared to animals. Because the conscious level is higher. Human beings are even higher consciousness than animals and than plants. So because conscious level is very less, therefore the pain inflicted is also very less. And in scriptures, as you move further spiritually, rishis, what they used to do, they used to collect, the fallen fruits, and so minimal killing. So that is the direction. As you further go, even minimal will be minimal, like that. But some amount of thing, even unknowingly, we will kill something. So it cannot be completely prohibited, but it should not be unnecessary. It should be just sufficient to live, and then this life should be used to practice our process to go back home back to God. Okay. Any other question? Yes.
Continuing to this question, why did Lord make such a world, they have to do even a minimum thing.
Yes, because this material world is made for whom? For those who rebelled against God. Who rebelled against God. And they are already having the desire to inflict miseries on others, exploitative mentality. Because when we have dvesh from God, then we have dvesh to others. Okay? And the very desire to enjoy this world means there is a desire to inflict some miseries on others. Because to enjoy means some exploitation of others. So, by nature, this world is made for criminals. So they have that desire to do this. So this world is made in a way that on one side the desires have to be facilitated, but then regulated so that gradually they can come out of it. If it is completely stopped, then they will not be able to live. Otherwise, there is no need to make this creation. But the purpose is twofold. One, to facilitate their desires, but then to give them directions that you gradually come out of it by regulation. So in this way, these twin purposes are served. And this in this like there is in a class there are two students. So many times the teacher, both of them are very mischievous. So the teacher asks each of them to hold ears of each other and pull. Correct? So in this material world, we have desires to inflict and we have then karma to suffer. So all of us are brought together in that. So we are killing someone and then next life he kills us. So that cycle is also going on. So therefore it's a method of inflicting karma also in this way. Any other question?
You told that religion should be not man-made, but if you see like Islam, Buddha, and Christian, like they came from one man or someone. Like, so can we say that they are man-made?
Not even Islam and Buddhism, but even it can be man-made, even if it is based on Vedic scriptures. If we derive some interpretation of the Vedas instead of messages, then that also becomes a man-made religion. Like Bhagavad Gita, based on Bhagavad Gita also they can be man-made religions. If you don't follow the Bhagavad Gita as it is, you make your own interpretation, then it is your Bhagavad Gita. It no more remains Krishna's Bhagavad Gita. So, man-made religion is any religion which is not following as it is the word of God. That is all man-made. Either it is that example which you gave, that one person just comes. There are many people who said, I got a dream. Like there was some Kalki avatar some time back. So he said he was an LIC agent and suddenly he became God. So he said that yes, I had a dream and God told me that actually you are God and for this age, and so he started. Like that, so many people come up with. So all these people are yes, man-made God, man-made religion. These are not true religion. They are just ideas.
Continuing to the same question, what if the Vedic texts were also written by someone?
Vedic texts were given the written form by Vedavyas to Manish. But if you go into the history, it was not Vedavyas' knowledge. Before Vedavyas, this knowledge was continuing by Shruti, by hearing. What happened? Vedavyas is an incarnation of God who comes at the beginning of Kali Yuga. This present age is called Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the memory power is very less. these different ages have different symptoms. So Veda Vyas, he could see that in this Kali Yuga, because memory will be very less, life will be very less, duration of life will be less, all qualities will be degraded. So therefore there is a need to preserve this message in a written form now. Therefore he gave it a written form. But it is not that was his message. The message is continuing from Brahma, first person, whom Krishna gave this message. And it is continuing as it is. So it is not that it was created by a man. It was given by Lord himself to Brahma. And then we see the characteristics of that knowledge. Eternal, all theory of everything, what we say. And the process, even how we can enter into that reality now. All these characteristics of that it is not man-made, having no defect. It's age-old knowledge, but if you examine, there is no defect. Even the science given in the Vedas, gradually we are finding how whatever we are inventing now is there in the scriptures for thousands of years. So it cannot be a man-made thing because it is perfect. This is another symptom of a knowledge. If it is to be given by God, it has to be perfect for all times, for all persons, for all places.
The path followed by the Buddhist monks or the person who thought the nature is the God. So is this the correct way to reach God, or there is no illusion?
Okay, so nature is God. The idea is that nature means material. It's within this material world, it's matter. So everything is matter. There is nothing which is non-matter. By matter we can explain everything, all the phenomena pertaining to matter. That is a modern science. We don't need, one of the premise of our modern science is to explain this material world, everything about this, creation and all the phenomena. We don't need any supra-natural, supra-material thing to explain. By matter we will explain everything. And they are trying for that for at least for 300 years. Okay, but there are innumerable theories, all contradicting in the science itself. So nature is everything means this matter is everything. But again, if it is just matter is everything, matter is unconscious, is not conscious. Like even by this we cannot explain the phenomena of living person. How you will explain the phenomena of consciousness? There are very vague explanations of consciousness. We are all aware that we exist, correct? So how are we going to explain that matter, certain matter, this matter is not conscious, but this matter is conscious? What is that particular thing in the matter here that makes this matter conscious and this matter unconscious? Like that, there are hundreds of things. So this is a very limited conception. This is again Aropanta. When I speculate, what is God? I don't see anybody God. And if God is there, I should be seen because I am perfect. Correct? So I don't see, so there should not be any God. That is the idea. And what I see is, yeah, there is nature, everything. Yeah, so there should be everything on. Whatever exists is ultimately God. That's another way of saying there is no God. Whatever is there, that's all. Then Buddhism, everything is ultimately, there is nothing. That is Buddhism. Whatever is there is just illusion. When you become knowledgeable, you will understand that there is nothing. Everything has come from nothing. Why everything has come in the first place? From nothing. What is there in the nothing to make everything? Even to create illusion, why? If there is nothing, so from nothing, there should be no beginning, no start. I guess we start. Correct? So like that there are. See, the most reasonable thesis is there should be some intelligent person behind this whole thing. At least it is most reasonable. Now we experiment and we try and follow and find out is it really correct or not. But at least theory wise, This is the most plausible, most feasible theory.
If God is good, then why earthquakes, tsunamis are coming and it is not controlled by humans?
Yes, because this material world is created because we wanted to be independent of God. Okay? Independent of God and to enjoy. Not to serve and be happy by serving, but by being happy by not serving, by being around. So, this material world is created. Whenever something is created, it will be created with some laws. If we wanted to drive cars, then the roads are created and laws are created, laws of traffic. Correct? So similarly, when this world is created with laws which govern. If you have to enjoy, then also there has to be laws. Correct? So, what was your question? Why tsunamis and other things happen? So then, laws are there. If you do this, you will enjoy or suffer like this. If you do this, then you will suffer and enjoy like this. So, based on our karma, we suffer or enjoy. And these sufferings can be in three ways. Sufferings arising from the body and mind, sufferings arising due to other living entities, and suffering arising from the demigods, from nature. All because of our karma phala. Okay? So tsunami or all these are natural calamities which inflict miseries because as a result of our past karmas. And many people of similar past karmas are brought together to suffer that same thing, similar thing at one time. Similarly, wars. Many people with similar karma phala brought together and killed, massacred. Should we end here?
One more questions you may take.
Huh?
One question if they have.
Yes. Just we have asked one, correct? If there is anyone who has not yet asked and would like to ask. Okay. Okay.
One question is regarding the BDD. So, I understand that lands are low consciousness, so we cannot kill them.
No, you can kill them,
No.
but the pain inflicted will be less.
Yes, I understand. But my point is, we're also killing them. It's not like we're not killing them. So, their logic is that, so anyways we're killing them, no, why don't we kill animals?
Then why don't we kill our children?
That's an extreme case.
If killing is just killing, whether you kill plants or you kill animals and you are killing, then kill your child. If the logic is any killing is killing, then kill your child.
That's an extreme case.
So there is a gradation, correct?
Okay, I understand.
So if you are necessitated to kill for your survival, you kill in a way which is least inflicting pain. Correct? Okay, so we'll end here. Thank you for listening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. And today, our one guest is present, so I would like to introduce him to you all. And Prabhuji is also there. So I would like Ranga Prasad Prabhu, if you can come.
Our special guest from the police department.
Acha.
So let's watch police department.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Lord's mercy.
He is Ranga Prasad Prabhu. He is also there. And Ranga Prasad Prabhu is helping us with this place, this building, and this area, and it's been given by him. I would like to so we all are able to sit and hear Bhagavad Gita. sir is also there with us today. Joined us here. Sir is your assistant.
Yes, he's a training sub-inspector.
He is also
Training sub-inspector. Other training.
So we would request them if they can join us every Sunday here.
And today they can have prasadam.
Yes.
Yeah. Please request that please take the